Okay, on this video today, I'm going to talk about banners. Paid advertising, banners. Essentially, you want to call it, to oversimplify it, those little picture ads you see on different websites that you visit across the web. Everybody goes to, other than social media, they have their own ad platforms, websites, which through Google's partner program, Google AdSense, as a publisher, you can get paid by Google by having ads on your website. So they put code on your website, which then allows advertisers through Google Ads have their ads show up on these other websites. And then they, similar to YouTube, they give the publisher a cut. It's about a half of, I think, still to this day, of what people pay to have their ad on your website. If you're a publisher and you own a website, goes to you, and then Google keeps half for facilitating the transaction, essentially. But those are banner ads. Of course, on those other websites, you can technically run what are called responsive display ads, which are a combination. Well, really, it's a text ad, but with more text ad than banner ad. What this video is about is the ad spots that you have as an advertiser through Google Ads on the Google Display Network, a chance to advertise in. Some of the ads are called skyscraper ads. It's the tall, skinny ones, like I'm sure you've seen, and everybody's seen. There's the square ads. There's also leaderboard ads, rectangle ones that are horizontal, more horizontal. And so basically, if you're not running a text ad there through responsive display ads, which is another way to technically run ads on Google Display Network, you're running banner ads. And so what you're trying to do is, of course, like other advertising, PPC advertising especially, figure out through your tracking how to get people to click on your ad, go back to your site, and ultimately turn into revenue either short or long term, at a rate that can pay for your expenses and the cost of the ads, and still end up ahead and have some money left over, i.e. profit. Now, what I'm going to explain to you in this video here is, most people, and I've have several videos on banner ads already, specifically because most people think banner ads don't work. I'm here to not only re-explain that they do work, but there's just the main misconceptions with it that people do, that inherently most of the people who can't make them work do. And by the way, a quick disclaimer as well, most people running ads, if you're seeing your competitors running ads using a program like What Runs Where you can spy on your competitors' banner ads, Moat, a lot of times those ads don't even make money. Half the people out there running ads don't even have proper tracking set up, and it doesn't matter if it's not a small company, trust me. But I'd say only about 20% of the people, their ads are actually working, so you can't look at what other people are doing as a sign of what you should be doing. You should trust me on this. If you want to make money and you want to prove you can make money through actual tracking that works and sticking by knowing numbers that you need to hit before you run your campaign, you need to use this strategy that goes beyond what your typical, quote unquote, I call lazy person is willing to do, or going to do, or only knows how to do for themselves to get those banner ads to actually work. So the reason why, if there's one reason more than anything, or there isn't just one reason, but the main reason more than anything that gets these banner ads to work versus when they don't work, is a concept called banner blindness. A lot of people have heard of it. So the topic of this video is why pretty ads might not be the best solution for your company. And so when we're talking about making these banner ads, again, the nature in which you make those banner ads has a direct impact on whether or not that ad's going to be, after all your expenses, profitable for you or not. And I'm not just talking about after the ad spends, which a lot of these so-called ad managers are going to try to fool you into paying attention to. After your expenses and the cost of the manager and the cost of the ad spend, working in which if you have a competent ad manager, should be able to walk through you before you run these ads, you're going to be able to end up ahead because you're the one, the ad space is priced to market what Google thinks that the market will pay. And it's an auction system. You use the ad space better than what everybody else can use it, basically, and you end up in that top 1% of people who are diligent in how they set up their ads. You are going to be the one that makes it work. And there's so much potential behind these ads that you literally can make millions of dollars a year just off Google Display Network. But if only, of course, if you know these main concepts that you need to get you started. So I have a short list of things that I'm going to cover, explaining banner blindness, how you're going to be able to take care of that, how to avoid it, so on and so forth, and how to actually get these banner ads to work so they actually do generate millions of dollars a year in sales for you if that's your mission in life, to be able to do that for your company. So anyway, the first thing, so banner blindness, why this actually refers to banners mostly when people say banner blindness, but really it applies to every ad out there. And so what I mean by that is, okay, the term banner blindness obviously is linked to the word banner, which we already clarified in this video what banner is specifically. But all PPC ads, and people, and just to take a step back further, first of course, a lot of people call PPC Google search ads. PPC is not just Google search ads. PPC stands for pay per click. And almost all advertising on the web, which there's dozens of PPC programs out there through different websites that just have it just for that website, or you can get on a bunch of websites, they charge by the click on the ad, not how many times the ad shows up or that the ad is just physically there. Those things still exist, but most of the advertising out there is pay per click because advertisers have demanded it, and slowly the market has changed to adapt to that. But when you run advertising anywhere on the web, really ultimately what it comes down to is people going to respond to your ad or not? Because, and this is a major misconception out there, that even though you're paying per click, and again, most people do pay per click for their advertising to try to sell because people like that, they don't have to pay for performance, that you have to be able to get people to click on your ad and notice it for it to work. If they don't, there's a very low likelihood that your ad is actually going to work. And the reason for that is the rate in which your ad gets noticed and clicked on is directly correlated with the price you're going to pay to get somebody on your site from that ad. And so you say, but Corey, they're only charging me per click. Well, yes, they are charging you per click, but here's the thing that people don't understand. If nobody hardly clicks on your ad, all the ad network is going to do, including Google, this is not conspiracy here, this checks out, and you can run your own experiments. The lesser someone clicks on your ad, the more that they're going to raise your cost per click that you're paying, because they don't say you're going to pay just 80 cents, do they? It fluctuates. And if you want to know why it fluctuates, it's because the ad network, think about it from their angle. They want to make as much money as they can from that ad space. So how do you do that? If somebody wants to advertise on that ad space, but they have a really crappy ad that nobody wants to click on, well, then that website and the ad network don't want to run that ad. And so what they won't, instead of just kicking you off completely, they'll just raise the cost of your ad up until it's worth it for them to have that ad running in that space. And that's actually why the auction-based system exists, because it gives everybody, no matter how good of an advertiser they are, a chance to advertise wherever they want. The question is what you're going to be willing or having to pay. On the flip side, if you're going to be the one that's actually going to go beyond what other people are willing to do with your banner ad strategy, and I'm talking about design here, not targeting, which is the other half of the equation you have to also get right. But with the best targeting, crappy ad, it's not going to work because people aren't going to notice it, which is where your banner blindness come in, and they're not going to click on it. But the same thing going back to what I was saying before, applies to any ad online. If you're running ads on Google, if your ad's crappy, no one clicks on it, your price per click goes up. People usually know that, but they don't know it about banner ads. If you're going to go on Quora.com, the same thing is going to happen. No matter where you're running the ads, basically bottom line, your goal, so first of all, is to get that only qualified people that can spend money from you and has the capability to be profitable to you will even see your ad in the first place. Once you've done that, you get as many of them to click on the ad as freaking possible, basically. And that's how you make money with PPC. Doesn't matter where it is. So anyway, I think I got that point across here. I can move on to the next step. So number 2, why average CTR is so low? So the main thing that we'll just say amateurs, when you hear people talking about banner ads, they first start to talk about is the click-through rate on the ads is like super low. And they're right if you're doing what everybody else is doing. The average click-through rate on a banner ad in general, and it fluctuates from year to year, but about 0.1%, or 1 in every time 1,000 times your ads is shown, someone will actually click on it. And of course, that's with modern targeting methods. If you didn't have the same targeting methods, such as remarketing, which you can have that banner only show up for somebody after they leave your site, it would be 1 in literally 10,000 because of how poor most people's banner ads are. But then going back to what I was saying before, how I said, basically your road to be able to have a profitable display ad campaign where you're running banner ads for yourself comes from, yes, your targeting has to be in such a way that you're not using the ad to filter out the audience, you're using the targeting to filter out the audience. So you're not spending money to show the ad to people who are unprofitable to you, because every ad that shows for somebody who can't be profitable to you costs you money, because people who aren't qualified to see the ad, you're paying that in terms of inflated cost per click. But then with the ad itself, it has to be as enticing as possible, because that also affects your cost per click. To put this in a frame of reference for you, if you have the standard 0.1%, 1 in 1,000 click-through rate on your banner ad, you're going to be paying around $1 per click just to get one person to click on the banner one time. Maybe that doesn't sound like a lot, but display traffic converts way, 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 way less than what a search ad will, because the intent is there and the motivation is there to respond now. Versus a display ad, a lot of times, it's about, a lot of people also don't recognize this, most of the display ads that I run, it's there to not even be clicked on. It's for the right person that we know will buy to see it. 2 weeks later, go onto Google, type in my brand name, and then we get our money back from there. So you can't just look at the stats of how many people are clicking through, because that's more than half of the benefit of running a banner ad, actually, and it can be upwards of 90%, as I've seen in some markets. So that's just as a side note. But if you can get 1% of your, every time that your ad shows up that someone clicks on it, you're paying now 10 cents per click. So you can see how this is directly proportional to one another, in that click-through rate directly affects cost per click, which directly affects profitability, because obviously you can only pay so much and still have money left over after all your expenses, which you should figure out what those numbers are in advance, so if you're coming up short, you can work on that ad to potentially get the click-through rate up just a little bit more, drop your cost per click a little bit more, and then now it's profitable, instead of just what most people do, randomly say, oh, my phone's not ringing very much, therefore it doesn't work, done. Or, it's not producing enough money. The people that end up making the millions of dollars a year from PPC, and it doesn't matter what ads it is, they're going in from the perspective that they're going to make this work, and as if their life depended on it. They get started, they know their numbers, they see what their numbers are, and they find ways to optimize again and again and again and again and again and again until they hit their number. And then once you've done that, it just works and works and works and works and works. If it were easy, somebody else would be doing it. And so the opportunity lies in the person that's willing to do more for their potential market and customer than the other guy is. So anyway, now that you know that, how you end up at the high end of the range of the click-through in terms of click-through rates on your ad. And that all comes back to the banner blindness. So here's how you get a high click-through rate on your ad, basically. And this is listed in order of importance, being number one, the top of the list being the most important. The offer. So we can't gimmick our way into a good, profitable campaign. If you're selling a commodity that 20 other people sell and people can't distinguish one from another, and you're not the cheapest one, and you're pretty much going to have trouble no matter if you use all the techniques I use to guarantee our clients' results for yourself, you still probably can't make that work. There's no demand for what you're even doing. Sometimes you can offer what other people are offering, but if the demand is high enough, there's a point of where it really does become too saturated. And like in the big one where I'm just mentioning there, if you sell a branded product that people can buy in 15 different places, it's hard for the customer to distinguish why you, because you're just offering literally identically the same thing. So at that point, if you're trying to sell, let's say you were trying to sell HP laptops, why should I buy from you if you're not the cheapest? I could go to Google and in 5 seconds find something that's 10% cheaper. That would be a scenario where none of this information that I'm giving you helps. But apart from that, the offer, what you can do if you don't have a breathtaking offer in that what you're selling, service or product or otherwise, that the offer can be switched up. So what I will inherently do to get the 1% click-through rate a lot of the times is I'll actually have an offer in the ad. So we're offering promo products here, custom t-shirts. Boring. We're offering custom t-shirts this month only. We're going to give you, if you're a new customer, half off your initial order. And then that's targeted at people who were recently searching in the last 30 days a vendor for a custom t-shirt. So now you've given that person an actual reason to click on your ad right then, right there, which is what you want. So you should think about how to transform what you're inherently offering to have a better spin to it. So that's just one way to do it. That's the most common way I have to do it. So there's other videos about offers. I won't get into that here. Next thing is about the overall look of the ad, and i.e. does it get attention? So this is specifically in reference to what the video is about is banner blindness. So a lot of people try to make their ads too pretty. Okay, great, legal approved it. My boss approved it. It's safe. But then the ad doesn't get any results. So, whoa, there's literally no point to what you just did. Somebody's got to, and this really comes into effect on a Facebook ad, and people seem to know it there, but not on the banner ad space over Google Display Network. When I'm scrolling down content on CNN.com and reading the news, and I can see out of my periphery an ad there, if that's not extremely compelling to look at, I'm just going to ignore it. And that's why people are getting a 0.1% click-through rate normally, including after you factor in remarketing ads. So the ad should look unconventional is the word of the day here. Your ad, doesn't matter what your offer is, if it's not going to be noticed, it is not going to be clicked on. So you have to do something wild here. You don't have to be unprofessional, but you do a design that looks really cool and not boring, is ultimately at the end of the day. There's a lot of ways to be professional, look really awesome. Like, we're talking about eye candy here. And so people just rush through it. They're like, oh, just get it done. Everything is about how you design this ad, whether it's going to work or not. Of course, I mentioned offer. You can't, polish a, you know what here. But past that, you still got to make the ad look interesting. So people, what I'm talking about here is your eye drawn to it or not. Once you got the user's eye drawn to it and they've stopped, and you've interrupted their thought pattern at that point in time, now you have 1 second to be able to get that person to put any more effort or interest into that ad, so that your headline has to be immediately the next thing they read. So, but in order to get that headline read, your outline of your ad and what I call eye flow has to be right on that ad. When you get to the ad, the headline's the most important because that gets the user to read the subheadline, and then the subheadline gets the user to read, the call to action. or what the offer is, or what you're trying to get the user to do, and you're offering the user on your site. And so if people are immediately drawn to the subheadline, generally that won't work. So you're using the design itself to draw the eye to the ad itself, but you're also using the design and more specifically the layout of that ad to get that user in a systemized process to go from one element to the next element to the next element to click. It shouldn't be random all the time. You're 90% of your users, and you can monitor this by doing like a hot jar on your site for like a landing page, but for a banner ad, there's other ways to test it, mostly just by having people look at your ad and see what they say about it. But you got to know that that ad has been deliberately designed to take a user from, I wonder what that is, to interest in a methodical way each time. And so just like good copywriting on a landing page, good copywriters say your job is, for the headline is to get the user to read the second line. That is it. When you get the user to read the second line, that only thing the second line's job is to do is to read get the person to read the third line, on and on and on. So they're already saying, I'm not going to give this ad the time of day. I'm going to look at it because it looks crazy. Oh, maybe that was actually really cool. Maybe I'll read the headline. Oh, maybe da 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 da. That's how you get ads to work well and get your click-through rate up. So you have to have a good offer, of course, because if they go all the way through the ad and the offer is not compelling, you still lost. But it has to get attention, and it has to get the job done in a very repeatable pattern that leaves nothing to chance, and also so that you can split test it so that certain elements, you have 4 actions the user has to do, micro actions. You can test 1, optimize that, optimize step 2, 3, and 4. And the last thing is just the copywriting cleverness. So mainly what I'm talking about here is don't be, again, not boring, use a lot of verbs. It's the brightest, it's the toughest, it's the hottest new thing. We're the only one who does this, that kind of thing. Now, obviously, don't lie. And there's a line between puffery, which is not really lying, and outright lying. And puffery is used a lot in marketing. But think of a way, what is the thing? Why did you get into business? Why are you selling what you have? If you just simply said to make money, nobody deserves to give you that. What's the differentiator? Put that kind of stuff into the ad. Have your offer there, what you want to give to them, but re-verbalize what it is that your differentiator is. Going back to the t-shirt example, okay, 50% off your order for new customers, offering the brightest designs and printing in the industry. There's an example for you. So you have to come up with your own. But anyway, that's in general about banner blindness, how to make money from banner ad campaigns, how to, have someone say that, have for yourself, no issue with banner blindness, because that's what stops you from making money on these banner ad campaigns. It's why people hate looking at and hate ads in general, because the ads are so crap. People should be able to see your ad and glad that they saw your ad. Advertising was always supposed to be that way, but people are lazy, and then now people hate advertisers because of it. But if you're the one guy or one gal that does it the right way, you can be the one that makes all the money because you're getting more value out of that ad space than anybody else can in your space and other similar spaces for that user's attention. You're going to be the one that ends up with the millions of dollars a year in revenue/profit for your brand by going through and doing all the actions that your user wants to see from you but aren't right now. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I have a lot of other videos just like it on this channel, going over the strategies I use to guarantee our clients' results. I have step-by-step instructions if you would prefer that on our blog at guaranteeppc.com/blog. You can check that out if it's interest to you. If you have any questions about banner blindness, making banner ad designs, copywriting banner ads, regarding banner ads or anything like that, anything that I didn't cover, think I should cover, leave a comment down below. I will get back to you. I get back to everyone about their questions in regards to the topics my videos cover or any other thing that related to PPC really. So anyway, hope you enjoyed. I hope you go ahead and join the club and are willing now to be the one that goes beyond what most people find is rational, and then find yourself a whole pot of gold at the end of the rainbow there by doing it.